guys can get on with your day. If at any point you need to watch the replay, I am streaming now to Talk to Tasha. That's the number 2. Talk to Tasha on YouTube, right? We have rekindled our YouTube that I have not streamed over there in years, but lately I've been streaming over there so you can go back and watch the replay. So this morning, we are going to dive into when you're called, when you're tired, but you're called. So we established this morning, hey, Jennifer, that sometimes we're tired, right? We're in the season of fatigue, extreme fatigue, mental fog. You know, one minute I'm super ambitious. The next afternoon, I'm feeling sluggish and hard to crawl out the bed. Just imagine if you're working in a 9 to 5, trying to hold all of that together without getting written up from work. That is very difficult, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how do I follow through with all of what we just described. So I'm tired, but I'm called. But I want you to know this morning that your follow through in this season is going to be your superpower. So we're going to talk about 5 signs that you're called, but you're tired. 5 signs, and remember the replay is on YouTube. 5 signs that you're called, but you're tired. These validate what you're feeling, so you do not feel like, hey, good morning, Shorty. You do not feel like you tripping in your head, or is it me? I'm scrolling everybody else's life and they seem to be doing it. If we established yesterday, if that's a struggle for you with comparison analysis, then we established that mature people do mature things. Also, tired people do tired things, right? But I'm going in awareness. And now that I'm aware, I get to do something with what I'm aware with. I am aware of something that's working for me, so I make a decision to keep doing the thing. I'm also aware that this is not serving me, so I have to make a decision to undo the thing or do less of it. I'm grown and mature, and I'm writing my own permission slip. I don't have a body that's going to hold me accountable. I have to want it so bad that I don't need anybody else to remind me, because staying stuck like this is a heavy price to pay that I'm no longer willing to pay. So, number 1, you feel overwhelmed by your own vision. You have a big dream, you have big aspirations, but the motivation is drop dead low. You don't know if you're coming or going, baby. You just like, oh, in theory, it's coming to you in your head. I'm dreaming big. I'm a visionary. I can come up with ideas. But the motivation is gutter. You're inspired and discouraged, if anybody can relate, all at the same time. Am I the only one? You inspired, but then I'm discouraged all at the same time. If you can relate to that, make some noise in the comment. That's number 1. I feel overwhelmed by my own vision. We ain't talking about my man and the kids and the job. My own stuff. These are signs that I'm called, but I'm tired. Number 2, you start strong, but you rarely finish. You powered up. Good morning, Arthur. You're powered up. I'm strong. I'm ambitious. I can do this. The Lord gave me these visions. I know he gave them to me for a reason. And I'm finna just dominate, right? I'm strong. But my follow-through game is not what it needs to be. You have great ideas, but somewhere between excitement and execution, the light bulb goes off. Anybody can relate. We're talking about self-awareness for myself. We're not talking about, oh, that sounds like my old raggedy piece or whatever. We're not taking our brain there. I'm on a journey of self-discovery for who I am and being safe with my truth, so I can decide whether this works or it doesn't work, right? And adding on the different parts that I need to tune up, right? Number 3, you keep getting confirmations, but still delay. This is for some of you guys that, the Lord done confirmed some things through you and to you, through people, through signs and wonders, through your nieces and nephews, because God used the babies. And Brother Arthur, the Lord is saying, okay, go ahead and write that book to let people know you can live a healthy, successful life with autism, right? And his teacher told him that in high school. He meets somebody online, they say it. He at the grocery store, they like, wow, you're an amazing person. Nobody knew that you can live a healthy life with autism until we met you. I'm meeting with a young lady tonight that lives in New York on Zoom who was diagnosed with schizophrenia, got her master's degree in social work. If we were to line up a room full of people and have you handpick who have schizophrenia out the group, more than likely, most people is going to pick the person that look like they unhoused. Because we have these stigmas of what mental illness is or isn't, right? So part of me coaching her is like I'm telling Arthur, who have shared with the Care Bears that he has autism, right? And so with that being said, the world won't know the difference of what it is with the stigma unless you come out and teach them otherwise. The person who wants to learn will show up. As you guys see what God has did with my life. I love everything about social work and most things about social work, not the systems that connect it, but the core belief that we operate in the ecosystem. The whole person is something that aligns with my call. But when I start seeing that the work doesn't allow me to be what God called me to be, and it's breeded in a lot of paperwork and burnout, and you want to serve people and not have to charge them on the mental health side of it. You start with people and the Medi-Cal it's just too much. So I have to go back before the Father and say, I know you called me to serve those who serve. They need to have a safe place to fall apart and build back up and not feel like that they're exempt from world problems. But there's some financial barriers before them. And that is how Talk to Tasha was developed. You talk to me, a safe place for you to take all your titles away and just be a human being to get filled back up and go out to do the things that you do. So same thing with Arthur with autism and a young lady tonight that's coaching people on how to follow through in the midst of when it's heavy with schizophrenia, how to regulate and really know when it's time to change psychiatrists, when one just want to medicate you up and you can't get out the bed, right? Only you and them or whatever your life situation is. And some of us have a whole lot of life situations to pull from. That's why I open up my calendar and I say, get on the phone with me. And we ask you some guided questions to see what part of the journey that you're called to come out and be a service to people and serving higher and not harder. Thank you, Patricia. But that's like with me when I started coaching 6 years ago, leaving the prison job, went into private practice kind of part-time. I absolutely love that work. I absolutely love that work. But I also know that I'm called to serve and develop new therapists coming out because they burn themselves out because they love what they do. They love what they do. And a lot of them don't want to have to work so many hours. They have student loans, they have bills, they have all of the things. And you guys know, anybody in the therapeutic space, you have to be filled up to be on a journey with amazing people. You just do, right? That's not fair to the client, yourself, your nervous system, to go and burn out and try to be available to people on their journeys. So a lot of people in service, they feel trapped. I know I'm called. We're talking about when you know you're called, but I'm tired at the same time. But my follow through in this season is my superpower. My mother was schizophrenic and medicated so bad. Oh, okay. So you know all about that. Yes, I've worked on a team in the correctional setting, in the correctional setting, and people used to tell me, aren't you scared of working in there? And I'm like, at first I was on orientation. It was kind of, you get there and you got to take all of this stuff off, make sure no contraband. And I remember being super nervous, like, wow, I didn't know what I didn't know. All I knew was going to visit relatives that was locked up, right? You never got to see the other side. In child welfare, when I would take the little people to go see their parents that was locked up, all I got to see was a visiting room as a social worker, right? But being on the inside of that place, I was very, very terrified. And when I got in there, Patricia, there was a lot of people medicated. A lot of the guys was medicated so heavily that they slept all day long. The unit that I was assigned to slept most of the day. So what I end up experiencing, I felt like, and I end up telling my husband, it felt like a glorified nursing home. People would sleep all day. They would medicate them so bad that they couldn't get out the bed. So that gave me a sense of, safety because they would sleep all day. That's why I sympathize when it comes to mental health. Yes. Yes. So because people think it's about motivation, right? Just motivate, get up and you can do it. And as you know, an experience, especially as a daughter. And we're going to be doing a series, Patricia. So consider if the Lord leads you to come and co-facilitate that conversation, I would love to have you because we are dealing with people who have parents with mental illness. And people don't understand that if you have a parent that's in and out of prison or substance abuse, kind of like when I was coming up, you kind of knew when your daddy was going to be at the pool hall, gambling off their money or fighting in that life. But when you have a parent with mental illness, you don't know when their mania is going to be activated. You don't know what may trigger them. So as a kid witnessing that, there's a level of trauma that we're exposed to, right? And only you can kind of guide, okay, this is what I experienced. When we're little and we experience that, we take on a lot, especially if you're the oldest. No matter what line you're in, when you have a mother with mental illness or a father with mental illness, whether it's treated or untreated, sounds like her mom went and got treatment, right, Patricia? Treatment, because she had medication. But sometimes that treatment, if it's not the proper treatment, it can be to our detriment. So her work is guiding people who didn't get to experience their parent fully because of mental illness. How did you get through? You know, when the behaviors were so scary and you still have to go to school, or you ran to the schoolhouse just to get away from it, not knowing if your mom or dad gonna be okay when you get out of school. Right? That's something Patricia can guide people because she lived that, right? Or if the family said you're going to go stay at Big Mama house and you don't know why you got to be upshifted and rooted, it was really for your safety. But a kid feel like I'm rejected and I'm abandoned. Why my mama or daddy don't love me? The whole time the family getting together, because the episodes that the parent is having is too detrimental. So the village got together, not explaining stuff to kids, and a little kid growing up believe it's you. I'm the broken one. I'm not lovable. That I got to get uprooted and move out of state or out of town across the street because I want my mom and I want her bad by any means necessary. But that's okay. Let's get back on. That's still on track, but I wanted to be mindful of y'all time. So when you're tired, but you know you're called, your follow through is your superpower. So we said at number 3, you keep getting confirmation, but you still delay. People are telling Sister Patricia, this is your lane. Yet you still second guess or you procrastinate. And procrastination is married to fear, right? So we have these pretty decorative words that come out every 10 to 15 years, and we go study it and label ourselves as a past to not move forward. Everything that you hear coming out is still connected to fear. I don't care how you tie it up and put a bow on it. I have depression and trouble PTSD. So if and thank you for sharing it. And I like how you said you have it. So if I have it, I can get the support that I need to manage it. But sis didn't come in here and say depression have me down, PTSD have me all the way out. And let's just be clear. There's gonna be moments where we're down, but we're not out. The minute you get up and say, this is bigger than me, and I'm going to call in support, whatever that looks like, that's when you know it don't have you down. It's been times in my life where I had so much trauma that it took people to come drag me out the bed. Grief and loss was so great that I didn't know if I was coming or going. And that's true for people on their journey. But thank God for your village, the ones you least expect coming in saying, we're not going to let you go out like that. I don't care if you bucking and fighting and arguing and all of that. You're finna get your butt up. We're not finna let you die slowly in front of us. So sis is out here saying, I'm the face. I'm not those sum totals of what I didn't get. I'm not my diagnosis. but I am the face to let you know you can live a healthy life with depression, with PTSD. So fireworks, all of the sounds and all of the things, the nightmares and the things that come up, and your support circle, your friendships, they know that you canceled the event because you have to take care of yourself because you knew something was going to be triggering. And instead of these forged friends, a lot of y'all kicking it with, they believe that you're not coming to the wedding because you hating and all of this because they're self-absorbed. My mother was shocked. Oh, she was, oh, Jesus. Deep breath. Deep breath. Deep breath. Hallelujah. For raising Patricia up through that. I know you on fire. I know that you've been on a journey and continue to be on a journey like us all. And you have a break free anointing on your life. So you getting confirmations. No more second guessing yourself. Number 4, you feel guilty resting. Where are my people? In the comments. Put a 1 in the comments if you feel guilty resting. But too burnt out to act. You too burnt out, have low energy to even do anything, but then you feel guilty for laying up in that bed because your body is the truth. Please take it from me, dears and sirs. Don't have me pull up a visual of where I was at 6 years ago. I keep that visual nearby when I try to attempt to go to my old ways of being superwoman. That doing it all, the favorite auntie, mama, wife, whatever, co-work, whatever. And, you know, the body is a true boss. If the body not feeling it and you trying to press her, baby, that body gonna do what it do. It's like you trying to go in your car in the gas tank. The light is saying empty and you think you finna go somewhere. So the car might get you down to the stop sign. Now you got to call the tow people to put some gas. The car already told you I'm not with it. The blinking lights in red. But you saying, well, no, I still got to get, you're not going to go anywhere far. That's the same with our temple. This is why when I'm coaching people to start their coaching business and they say they want to make 6 figures, do you have 6-figure focus, 6-figure energy, 6-figure discipline? A lot of people do well just by making an extra $3,000 or $4,000 a month. An extra $2,000 a month can be a game changer for somebody on their side hustle. Don't come because the world is telling you 6 figures is the thing, and you know your energy budgeting is low. Why put yourself through that torment? You put these unrealistic expectations so you cannot follow through, and then you sit up and eat all of the hot Cheetos and tell yourself that you're a failure. No, you overcommitted and really wasn't realistic about where you are. So if you feel guilty resting, but you're too burnt out to act, you're not lazy, sis. You're exhausted from carrying emotional, spiritual, and mental loads, especially for the strong ones in the family, right? You the go-to chick of the family. What y'all don't realize is the emotional weight is heavier than Mayweather blows on a boxing ring. If you guys are in a relationship, an intimate relationship, you're married or in a seriously committed relationship, and this person only know how to provide financially, work the overtime, pay the bills, right? Do all of the little finagling with all of the little honeydew list at home. But then you're the one that don't believe you're worth 2 nickels because you a full, I don't even call it full-time at home mom because it's nothing full-time about it. You don't get a break. It's 24/7, right? So I encounter women who believe that they don't have value because, you know, my spouse work and he provide and, you know, he pays all the bills and he take care of the cars and all of the things. But when we look at everything, a lot of women hold emotional weight. You there for your sister, your mama, your cousin. I never said you there for yourself because sometimes yourself get buried under that. And so your sister going through it with her man, or your brother going through it with his wife, or your coworker at work going through it because her mom is aging and sick. That's emotional weight, right? Especially if our boundaries is not where they need to be. Or even covering your husband, right? You can see some things where they all over the place. And if that's all they know how to do is work, 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 they getting a break and a lunch break at the job, right? And so you hard on yourself because, you know, I don't really equate emotional well-being as a weight. I put it in as a way of life. But what is your body telling you today? What are we saying to our self-care bears? If I feel guilty about resting, what happens to the brain when guilt shows up and shame comes up as a lifestyle? You're not lazy. You're exhausted. There's a difference, right? Number 5, you show up for others. Here we go. You show up for others, but you abandon yourself. You show up for others, but you abandon yourself. What is my value proposition this morning? What is my value proposition this morning? Talk to yourself. Say, self, what is my value proposition for me that I can show up for others but abandon myself? Get ghost on myself. I show up and do the makeup, put the Bath and Body Works on, squish, squish, squish with the perfume, right? That's not showing up. That's decorating. That's not showing up. That's decorating. So if I show up for others but abandon myself, and I'm called to be of service, what happens if my ministry of being of service goes away because I'm laid up in the hospital on the bed, can't move? It aborted a band to call on my life because I'm mismanaging my gift. Everyone else get the best of you, but your goals get the leftovers. Your kids get the crumbs of who you are because you ain't seen them all day. And my friend who owned a private daycare school, she say, these kids can't wait till their parents come pick them up because they done made some craft, right? They done made some kind of pretty little thing at the school. Can't wait for their parents walking in on their phones. So because she's never had kids, so she's like a community mom. And so she talked to her families like her own family because she built relationship with the people she served. And she says over here, when you pick up your kids, they want to know if your face light up when you walk in, unless you have an emergency call. And if that's the case, do your emergency call in the parking lot. But when you come in here, that baby need to know that you missed the heck out of them. Even if you in your car saying, Lord Jesus, I got to pick up little James. Lord Jesus, I wish I had 30 minutes left on the child care time clock so I can run to the grocery store, get some groceries first, and then pick up little James. Right? See that stress? Whatever it is, when you come in company with that child that has not seen your beautiful face all day, they need to know, in the words of Toni Morrison, the amazing author, poet of our time, kids want to know if your heart light up when they enter the room. Some of us as adults are still missing that connection. Am I relevant just because I walked in a room to a mother, to a spouse, to a child, instead of feeling like I'm not relevant unless I'm emptying out my pockets, my time, my energy, my skill, my resource? So you see how it starts over there in childhood a lot of times, but then it starts showing up. It follows us on the journey. That's what I do. I dress up, I put on makeup, but nobody know my story. That attention sound should be on my baby. That attention should be on my baby. Yeah. You know, I always tell people, because I heard, when we get up, let's say getting up and getting yourself dolled up, it gets your morning going, right? And you saying, you know what? When I get made up, like especially people working from home, right? If you know you can get dressed from the waist down, you got on sweats and flip flops, but up here you're supposed to look professional for the camera, whatever type of at home work you do. Or you don't have a camera desk job at home. And so you could just be with your bonnet on, still cooking in between your calls with your little AirPods on, which I have a cousin friend. A lot of them have. I know my niece and her sister, they work for Aetna at one point, right? And some of the departments they work in, they can only go so many feet before they screen a computer know that they too far. Where another department, they can walk to their mailbox and still have a device. So for them, it was so hard. Like one of my friends say, Tasha, I'm tired of feeling isolated working from home. I'm on the phones all day. I don't get dressed, right? I miss getting dressed. And then trying to get dressed after 5 o'clock when your day is all depleted is very difficult. So when we get up and we get ourselves made up, and if that's what's going to warm us up to get back to ourselves, we do what we have to do. Then at some point you say, you know, I want to go in a little bit deeper for myself. I have people that I know that's so in debt behind decorating the outside of who they are. And at times we had disagreements because they believe that I should be doing this and doing that. And I'm a person who's been through bankruptcy twice when I closed my cell phone store. And then one time I just didn't care. I was just in debt because I was just buying and charging stuff because that was just my uneasy way to cope. And I just didn't care, right? Didn't have a big, heavy consequence on anything, just living my life through credit cards and just buying and handing a Target card to a family member, go get the Christmas stuff. Just irresponsible. When you get delivered from that and you bump your head enough, you start to realize that I got to do better for me. I got to do better for my offspring. So I have to go on that journey, what you're talking about, going from dressing up from the outside to really getting down to the inside, because sometimes we feel responsible, especially when we're talking about having a parent with mental illness. If we don't understand what that is in our childhood, we believe that we can rescue and save our parent. And if I can just only pay their bills, if I can only just work hard, go to school and solve their environmental issues, then maybe they won't be mentally ill, because we don't understand what it is when we're little, right? And so a lot of times if we're guarded, we don't let people in because the very person that was supposed to be there and love me has been all over the place because they have untreated mental illness. It feels like it's personal. Whole time she didn't have she's warm within herself. It's almost like it's hard to understand when it's mental illness versus somebody that's on chemo and they're weak and they can't get up and do that Thanksgiving dinner, right? We don't put expectations on things we can see externally. You wouldn't tell your 8-month-old or 11 or 5-year-old to get up and cook a big meal and clean and take people to appointments and run around, because you can physically see and developmentally, you know, they're not capable. But when we're talking about untreated mental illness and schizophrenia and schizoaffective, right, and schizoform, there's so many different levels to schizophrenia. You can live a healthy life with it. But then the political part of it, you got to be able to have a good psychiatrist to manage that medication, understand that they can go up and down. But as a little person sitting with that, everything is your fault. You self-blame because you don't know where to put it at. Big Mama was sick with swollen legs, right? Nutty Professor legs, still peeling potatoes with that amputated leg. But untreated mental illness, or you say, well, it's been treated. She go to the psychiatrist and to the psychologist and to the therapist. So it's supposed to work. It's supposed to work. So let me try to get these straight A's and see if that'll make her love me. She just don't have what she just don't have. And that's where the village come in and be that emotional connection, right? And really explain it's not your fault, right? And then there's a stigma that when I say that my mother have these things, all of a sudden, don't be in an intimate relationship and you get into an argument. You crazy just like your mama. Am I lying or am I dying? This is what make people shut down. Because I shared a heavy part of me, and then you take it. I'm already doubting myself quietly, and you want to take it and spit in my face with it. So when we go through those levels of ups and downs and rejection, and I'll give love a try and I'm hurt again, we can just continue to dress up. I'm going to stay guarded. I'm going to stay safe. But at some point, the body is screaming, I need to release. Don't mean you don't love the Lord because you need a human being to connect with, right? So thank God for you, because your baby and your offspring get to see a mama that shows up when she don't feel like it, that shows up even when she don't know what the outcome gonna be, that shows up with the bold truth that this is what it is in the family, the bold truth that you're not your diagnosis, the bold truth in the absence of what grandma couldn't get, mama went and prayed to God, and he sent a ram in the bush to be a godmother to me, to support me in other areas. The lineage of forgiveness that run in our family. The psychiatrist told, why are you worried about her going to therapy as long as not unaliving nobody? I think we have to say unaliving. The psychiatrist told, why are you worried about her going therapy as long as you're not? Yeah, I if I'm reading that correctly, we don't wait until a person get to that point. It's okay. We don't wait till a person burn the house down and then, oh, well, let's call the paramedics now, or let's call the fire extinguisher now. Like proactively, I totally believe in having an objective party who's skilled and professional that I as a care bear can be on the journey with. You as a care bear can be on the journey with. Before, it could be for maintenance, right? You got the tools to get through. You could probably go monthly or quarterly for maintenance. It's a safe place where you can get things out and not be judged. And some of these therapeutic models are so amazing for heavy trauma that you don't realize that once I learned to release it and get it out, other areas of my life start to fall in place. I start dating in a different capacity, not with others first, but dating myself with the narrative that I belong in this space. I don't have to earn it. I don't have to be ashamed of what it was. So 5 signs you're called, but you're tired. Showing up for others, but abandoning yourself. Everyone else gets your best, but your goals get leftovers. These are the signs. We'll do a recap in a minute because I get into my moment. All right. So let's just go over the recap really quick. The 5 signs: you feel overwhelmed by your own vision. You start strong, but you rarely finish. Number 3, you keep getting confirmation, but still delay. These are 5 signs you're called, but you're tired. Number 4, you feel guilty resting, but too burnt out to act on it. Number 5, you show up for others, but abandon yourself. Replay is on YouTube. Now we're going to do 5 action steps to strengthen your follow through. Your follow through in this season is your superpower. Somebody type superpower in the comments. You have the ability to spark, because you're a care bear, you're doing it for everybody else. We just ended with the signs. You show up for others, but abandon yourself. Now I'm going in heavy for me. Not as a fad or a trend or a hashtag, but as a necessary truth that this is my lifestyle moving forward. Because if I'm not well, nobody around me in the camp is going to be well, right? 5 actions, steps to strengthen your follow through. Follow through game. It's not a game, really. My why in life will keep me in the game when I don't feel like playing. Brother Herman, what is your why? Why? If my skin in the game is just a game and I was raised to play games, then there's no reciprocity in that. It's just, I'm just doing life. 25 to life with 2 consecutive L's on my back. But if I'm moving forward, now we into action. We don't need to do all of these things every day. But consider what I'm finna drop on you. Pick one thing and complete it today. One thing. Going back to what our intentions were. Takes a little practice. That's it. You practice everything else in life. Let's practice for you for real this time. Because if you don't, you're going to invite chaos to your world, whether it's a relationship, a marriage, a coworker, a boss, because you're dragging in every part of you that is 1 through 5 that we talked about. Now that I'm powering up as my superpower to change and tweak some things because I deserve it. Not that I need to earn it. I straight up deserve it based on his word. So I'm going to pick one thing and complete it today. What is a micro win that builds momentum for you? What is see, on this work, you got to be willing to ask yourself some courageous, bold questions. Our healing journey and elevation journey, our entrepreneurial journey is spiritual. You can't barter off your stuff to other people and think they're going to fix it. You got to be good with asking yourself and trusting yourself enough to know if I can be this for everybody else, why do I keep running from myself? Why? Part of me is scared to get and arrive to where I know I'm deserving to go because I'm so used to being on the struggle bus that when the Lord drop it before me, I think it's a catch-22. Don't fight the feeling, invite the feeling. So what is one thing? And you're going to follow through as if your life depends on it to give yourself a micro win. It builds momentum. It's not about doing one thing that's going to get you more money, but then I'm mentally tapped out with loose boundaries, so they're going to come begging and I'm going to give it to them. Start with what your soul needs first. The money will come. Always on survival mode. Her nervous system on survival mode. Let me give you guys, and thank you for trusting us with your lived experience. For some of y'all that want to relate to what she's saying, just think about, God forbid, if you ever been in a car and somebody trying to cut you off and you do a quick brake on your brakes to avoid the crash. And what happens when your fight, flight, or freeze moment? You tense up. Some people get whiplash. If she's always living like that, what is her nervous system doing? How are you sleeping at night? What is the thought process about the constant things that flip through that brain? Your system deserves rest. And if we always living on the edge of life, like I'm constantly avoiding, we taxing our body. And that stops today. Because you carrying all of the stuff you talked about. And it's July 9, 2025. That's why we in survival mode always is what you're saying. I'm feeding you back the words you typed. So for you, you're going to pick one thing and complete today. Again, for you, it's about interrupting that survival mode and reclaiming back the inner compass, that getting you back to homeostasis. Think about a time in your life where you weren't always on survival mode. Did you have a moment and season in your life where you can reflect back and say, you know what? There was a time, and even if you never had survivor mode, because based on what you saw at 3 years old, but maybe I want you to reflect on a time where it wasn't as big of a problem that you perceive it to be now. Was it when you were pregnant with baby girl, baby boy? Was it when you was in love? Maybe, I don't know. You take yourself on that journey. There was a time where your nervous system was good to you, maybe when you was pregnant, because everything that you experience, or that baby, that unborn child experienced inside of you, it was a part of her or him if you have a daughter or a son or both. There was a time where it wasn't as bad. Now, you know, if we have job layoff, the money is funny and change is strange. We go back to survival at the 10th power when current things come up. That's why for you, you cannot afford to just occupy any and everything in your nervous system because it's already full. I can guarantee somatically it's showing up. I can almost guarantee that you might have some digestive systems issues. You don't have to share it out loud. I'm not treating and diagnosing you. I'm giving you considerations. If I'm constipated and stuff don't move through me because the level of survival and all the stress hormones that's there to help us keep safe, but it's dominate my thought process. And then I continue to overgive because the 3-year-old is still after the heart of a mother, whether she's still here or not. That's a lot of competing demands. And then you got game face on for the kids because mama's still trying to show up with that for them. God forbid you have a preteen that start talking back. If we're not well, when that preteen come with a truth or perceptions that's not true, you're going to take it literal and you're going to be back at that 3-year-old. You co-parenting with Jesus, right? So we're going to be on a vicious cycle of not only was I not good enough as a 3-year-old to my mama because the trauma that you experienced over there, how can I connect to people? Because people close to me get taken away. People close to me get hurt on that level. I can't sleep with that. That's why that PTSD you was talking about. You gave love a try because you went half on some babies, look like. You gave love a try or intimacy a try 3 times. So that lets me know, part of me know that I deserve love. But then also part of you know that I'm not that desperate for love that I'm going to stay entangled just on the strength of saying that you here. That's why it went over to singlehood, co-parenting with Jesus the whole time anyway, right? Whether he left or you left, right? You're not laid up scrolling and woe is me. You're going to cry because you love these people. You still going to have a level of love because you went half on the babies with them, but it's not dominating my life. It's not dominating my life. And if he wasn't a good partner, but a good dad, I'm not holding my kids away from him on any level because I just know he wasn't good for me as a partner on that garbage stuff. But I know he's protective of our kids. And if that's the case, they go over there and do what they got to do. And you have your weekend to yourself to do or whatever your structure is. If he's absent, and we attract people that's not fully present, not emotionally present, not physically present. Remember, I said all of us attract a part of who we believe that we are. And when we come from complex trauma, we want to save and love on people like we wanted to save and love on our mom. So we end up with somebody's son that we see the potential in him. And we want to love on him and nurture him for what he didn't get. That trauma bonding stuff comes up. But then when you start growing and elevating, like, hold on, I got a whole dependent up over here. We said, I get to decide what's still working and I get to decide what isn't working. So you count that as all joy because you showing your kids resilience. You showing your kids based on what happened with grandma. We don't know if, the family talk about it, but you showing them when I have more information that aligns with where I'm going, I have a right to change my mind. I don't have to stay stuck in relationships and be committed in situations, whether it's relationship, jobs, or otherwise, just for the sake of doing that thing. Because I deserve wholeness. I have the freedom to pivot in areas of my life that requires me to pivot. And I don't have to explain that to anyone. So pick one thing. Girl, we can go on and on, but I got to be wrapped up by 10 minutes. Pick one thing and complete it today. And I thank you so much, Sister Patricia. I thank you. Where it would have made absolute 1,000% for you to give up. And you may have, I don't know, and that's not my story to tell. But for his mercy and grace, you got up. Sometimes as mothers, we get up for the kids until we can believe that I'm worthy to get up for me. Whatever path you take, I thank God for you. Because you encouraged me on today. You encouraged other Care Bears on today. And that right there is ministry. And you have a ministry that's outside of the 4 walls. And don't you water that down. We're talking about paying to power to get to the ultimate promise, pain to perfume. This is the season of fragrance for you. So your micro win that's going to build momentum, what is it? Even if it's as small as finishing a task you've been avoiding. If it's something you've been avoiding, today you're going to pick that and you're going to do it. You're going to do it. You're going to do it. You're going to do it because you're not vibrating and moving based on my lived experience. Your lived experience has driven you to the space today. I'm called, I'm tired, but my follow through in this season is my superpower. It's game day, baby. You've been in the dressing room, rehearsing room, like all of it. Now it's game time, which means my superpower. I've been plugged up too long, getting the charges. And just like my laptop is charged up, if I need to move to the other room, and I'm trying to move to the other room with this power cord connected over here, I'm not going to get far, right? Because this charger charges me up. I'm talking figuratively. It charges up the laptop. So at one point, I can cut the cord on this bad baby and move independent. So all of these pockets of trials and tribulations has charged you up and doubted you and made you believe that God forgotten about you. But the season of power up spiritually, it's the season that you got to unplug the dependent cords and walk in what he gave you. He got you because you connected to the power source. So pick one thing and complete it today. Number 2, set a 15-minute finish what I start timer. This is for all of us Care Bears. Set a 15-minute finish what I start timer. I don't care if it's donating them clothes. I don't care if it's cleaning out your car because we got to declutter our environment so we can receive. I don't care if it's, sitting on your lunch break without the toxic people and just sitting with yourself to see what that feels like. Use your phone for many things. You paying for that family plan and you ain't making that phone work for you. We show people how to use the phone for business, but it's not just financial business. Let's use our phones for mental business, spiritual business, putting a timer on 15 minutes. Handle my business. That's my thing to do. Handle it. Knock it out. Pat yourself on the back and give yourself a whole big hug when you're done because you're building that discipline muscle. Put your phone on do not disturb and choose one item to complete with 0 distractions. I'm learning how to not distract. That's going to help my anxiety. For y'all that can't sleep at night, you definitely need to get in one of my courses so we can get you together. You have to sleep and rest. The enemy is after your minds, our kids' minds, our destiny. It's not going to hurt you, sweetheart. That your go interrupted, we say in 15 minutes. Have a meal without the urgency of taking a picture of the plate. Come on now. Number 3, speak a closing affirmation. I follow 3 because I'm called. Sister Patricia, I'm talking to you, to all of us and myself. My mind is called. Exactly. You will do that. I don't believe, I'm just going to say this. I don't believe that we don't do these things because I believe in my heart a lot of times we didn't know that we had permission to do those things. Because when you think about it, as what you explained since you were a little baby girl, you're the same age my grandson is, so I can't even imagine. But you also said you have 3 children, right? And you also providing for them. I believe sometimes as women and as parents, you didn't know you had permission to show up for you in the midst of surviving for them. It's almost like the world is set up that's why you don't hear me talk about work-life balance, because that model says they have to compete against each other. When we're talking about harmonizing means they go together real bad. That means some days you may work 10 hours, but then on other days you might work 2 because you're taking the kids to the park. They go together. Work-life balance means, if you look it up, do the research yourself. They got to somehow compete. So I don't know if I have permission to build something sustainable for me. It feels selfish as a parent. By the way, their dad's not here. By the way, their grandma, the uncles and aunties, and all of your siblings that you may have that may be disconnected, right? Because nobody knew how to deal with mama, right? So I believe that we know a lot of times what to do and those creative things that God give us, but I just didn't know that I have permission to do that. That's why you often hear a lot of people say, when my kids get grown and do the things, I'm going to wait. When the Holy Spirit is saying, do it now. Because some things he wants you to do now is going to free you up to do all of the things he wants you to do for them babies. Because remember, he loaned them to us anyway. So he's going to cover them. And so that is what, when we're unlocking what holds us back, is the pure fact that I didn't know I had permission to do that without being labeled as a mother that's not fully present. That means we're sounding our ears to the definition of what this looked like and not obedience of what God is telling you. So we're going to affirm today, I follow through because I'm called, not because I feel like it. I finish what I start. I'm going to say that again. I follow through because I'm called, not because I feel like it. If it went off our feelings, none of us will get nothing done. Come on, let's just keep it real. Am I operating in feelings or am I operating in faith? Am I operating what he said, she said, mama said? Or am I operating in what feels in alignment with where God has me? Am I operating in what the church body is telling me because it's routine and tradition? Or am I operating in what the Spirit is saying to me because God speaks to me like he speaks to anyone else? I follow through because I'm called. And when I'm called, we sign up for battle, and battle is not going to always be convenient. You may be called and it's to do a thing and it's 110 degrees out. You might be called to do a thing and you got a little bit of gas in your car, but the Lord is prompting you to go do a thing. You get there, the whole time somebody want to fill up your gas tank, but the Holy Spirit is pressing you to do it. You're doing it out of obedience. I follow through because I'm called, not because I feel like it. I finish what I start. I finish what I start. I finish what the Lord himself has prompted me to do. Some things we don't finish because if we're in survival mode, we just doing stuff, right? And when you get into exhaustion, you already mature enough in Christ to know that God doesn't give you a gift that's going to unalive you. He not. We don't have, listen, I teach about holy hustle, and I think I'm going to do a class on that. Because a holy hustle sit different from a hustle that we know. I'm going to give you breakdowns of people in the Bible that align with holy hustle. They go together real bad. There's no separation from hustle and holy, because what God give you, he's not the author of confusion and self-defeat and you drowning and losing your family. I seen the live last night when I was washing dishes, and this baby on the screen is craving the attention of a grandmother. And all his grandmother was doing is shutting her off. And she shared enough about this baby that her parents is not available to her. And they living in hotel, motel, Holiday Inns. Parents is never there. This baby is shut out in a world of where adults live, online, day in and day out. So she's craving attention and emotional connection to people that value being connected to people they don't know. And to see this played out loud on my screen while I'm washing dishes, it grieved me real bad. I don't have respect for people like that. I don't have respect for people like that. Now, it's one thing if a person don't know. If you don't know, you don't know, because we all helpers one to another. But it's the kind of conversation you have to a child that's craving attention. What I see on this screen is a grandmother craving the same attention. from people she don't even know, because this emotional connection online is a thing. People are superficially getting filled up with the perception of what people is falling in love with, and that's meeting a hurt and vulnerable need in somebody. The sad part, it's not sustainable. It's trauma one-on-one, all in your face. And a baby that's craving your attention. If you know this baby crave your attention in that way, is it more important to be liked online and push that person apart when you know that they're at your house? Or do you gracefully? That's why I say you got to know your value proposition and who you dealing with, because you listen to ill counsel and you watching it be played out. A person can't pour into you what they don't have or don't know. It might sound good. That's what the enemy do. Old boy pull up, he got the cologne on. You value his white tee. And girl, I grew up with gangbangers in LA. It's something about them Air Force Ones, them white ones with the white tee. Girl with some cologne on and a nice watch. Girl, khakis. Girl was born in the 70s. That's why I say K-Swiss. Air Force is white tee, polo. So I'm going to size my thing up with, let's say, we'll get into that. Right? When we get into this, the Diddyism and, the dudes that you align with, would they even be kicking it at a party on that level for the money grab? Listen, we got stuff to talk about. But people show you day and day who they are. They do. That would be a good one on the holy hustle. Good. I love that feedback. All right, where are we at? Okay, let me speed this up. So pick one thing and complete it today, a micro win. Number 2, we set in 15 minutes. Finish what I start timer, knocking it out. Number 3, I need y'all to put this affirmation in your mirror, on your glove compartment, Sister Shorty, on your desk at home, in the kids' backpacks. I don't care. I want you to put this somewhere in various spots, and I'm going to do the same. Because we on this journey together. There's no hierarchy over here. Okay? You got something that you can teach me, and I'm teaching you. Right? It's a push and pull relationship. I follow through because I am called, not because I feel like it. I finish what I start. Remember how early I came here? I follow through because I'm called, not because I feel like it. I finish what I start because my obedience in doing that is connected to the deliverance of people in my family, in your community. You might not value yourself in the way that you need to right now. It's not a big deal if I sleep in and don't do it. What's the point? Oh, baby, there's a divine plan on you being obedient. Trust and believe that. Number 4, tell one trusted person what you're completing today. That is your accountability buddy. So if I'm your accountability, you're going to let me know. Thank you for the gifts. Accountability is a bridge to follow through. Say it out loud and give it a deadline. Now, because I don't have the ability to go back and circle back and hold you to it, find somebody at your job. Find a trusted person in your family. Quit saying that you have zero support and really fact check that for what it is. Because if 2 of you guys touch and agree and hold each other accountable, that becomes your new norm. This is a person you're going to start walking with, right? And getting your prayer breaks with. And, really taking those breaks at work to get away from everything and start powering each other up, right? So tell one person, a trusted person, what you're going to complete. And put a time on it. I'm going to complete it by 5 o'clock. If you don't complete it at 5 o'clock, at least you know you have the goal at 5. And then reset the time. But you will not lay that beautiful head down until that one thing is done. Number 5, reignite your why with a reminder list. Remember our top priorities: my win, my gratitude, my intentions. Write out 3 reasons, Patricia and Shorty. And is that Chris, let me read that right. Chris, Chris Ilse. Don't get me going. Christ. Reignite your why with a reminder list. I want you to write 3 reasons you must finish what you started. And who will it impact? Patricia gave an example, something she's going to focus on. It's going to impact her to not live on the edge of life in survival mode, because she knows she has to be well, not only for herself, for her 3 kids. So the thing she's going to do is going to not give her more stuff to add on to her already stressed body, survival mode body. She's going to be doing things to take that out of her, right? Before we add on anything, we got to take off what's not working. So that's what she's going to prioritize. And you should consider 3 reasons. You're going to write it out. Write the vision and make it plain. 3 reasons, Sister Patricia, you must finish what you started and who it will impact. You know it's going to impact you because you're going to be better and not living on the edge as much. And then you know that's going to residue off on your babies, right? Hey, self-first strategists. So many Care Bears coming up in here. So we know if mama is well, I'm not going to be this stressed mom yelling, fussing, and fighting about where they lost their shoes at, right? And now, what is the 3rd reason that I got to finish what I started? If we need to call a doctor, do we need to get back with a trusted therapist, go on Psychology Today, kind of look for someone you're looking for, what their specialties are? Do they bill my insurance? Do they offer meet and greet free sessions where I can meet them and they meet me to see what it is that their practice models, right? And putting a therapist back on my team if that's my pathway. Do I need to fill up my spirit, right? My soul journey. Like, what is my spiritual bank account looking like? Is it empty? How do I fill it up? What is one intentional thing I can do to, fill up my soul? What is one thing podcast I'm listening to that fills me up versus not filling me up? I got to create the sanctuary within myself in my home environment. So when I go to work, whether I'm logging in from home or I'm physically going to the building, I don't feel like I have to code switch, because the spirit of peace of God is in me. I breathe it, I live it. And when I have these set of challenges that try to come for me, I know how to handle it in a way that don't take me back to anger management classes down at the courthouse. You deserve that, Patricia. You deserve to have someone on your team that love, affirm, and is skilled to help you get back to homeostasis. You deserve that. That's biblical. And for you to know what you need, that's healing work already. You're already healed. We're not after healing. We're healed right now in the name of Jesus. You deserve not to do life by yourself like that. So please pick that as your priority if that's what it is. It definitely have to be a part of what we went through, because you deserve it. I don't want you personally, I don't want you stacking nothing more because you already have enough. You just didn't know that you have permission to, because a lot of times we married to our pain. We could be married to our pain real bad. You cook with it, sleep with it, take a shower with it, everything a married couple do. Go on vacation with it. And so you're going to have a divorce today. You're divorcing it, because we're not going to have you live through the sum total of life experiences to smother you. Pain to perfume. All right, so we winding down. Y'all ready for the life application? Because y'all know I love giving us some considerations. If you feel the fire in your belly while I was talking, and you know that this is your season to go from pain to perfume, put a 1 in the comments. Put a 1 in the comments. Tatted Beauty is another amazing mom. Niece. Mother of 5. just to give you guys a recap, what we're closing down on. When you're tired, Sister Tatty, and you're called, but my follow through right now in this season is my superpower. Y'all know on my website I have helping y'all burn your superwoman cape. But we talking about super power, powering up through the pain. For my parents in here, as we get ready to close down and wind down, for y'all that have grown kids and you think they still don't need your heart, that's a whole lie. All of us in here grown and still need some level of connection, whether our mom is still here or not. So parents, follow through on boundaries. The only people you're responsible for is those little people. You lost your mom, got medication. I'm sorry for your loss. Good morning, Tatted Beauty. I'm sorry for your loss. So we're going to follow through on boundaries. When you say no screen, listen to me. Listen to Miss Jones. We got a thing going on. Either you want to play games or the game's going to play you. Your why will keep you in the game of life when you don't feel like playing. So follow through on your boundaries. When you say no screen time, don't waver. Quit letting these little people bully you because you so unresolved and I'm going to raise them like they didn't raise me and I'm going to give them all what they want. That's not working for you or the baby. They have to learn how to have structure. Kids strive on structure. I messed up real bad. Parenting is not easy. But when you know better, you do better. Your child learns structure and trust from your consistency. You don't have time to be talking on the phone with your friend all night and you just pick the baby up after 10 hours of being in daycare. You think it's not a big deal, but you so into what they got going on, you're not fully present. Isn't that something we're struggling with as adults, with people not being fully present to us? It hurts, doesn't it? People at a dinner table halfway available on their phone, not even, listen, your man halfway available to you, and you struggling because I'm dating the type of person that's not fully and emotionally present, and you got the opportunity to be fully emotionally present to your little people, and you mismanaging it. A lot of times we don't consider that's what we're doing because we don't mean no harm. I'm not here to judge. We're just talking and being aware because that's what the enemy does. He keep us busy instead of human beings. And busyness do busy things. If I'm tired, I do tired things and make tired decisions. And then I look through the lens of life through poverty. Poverty in spirit and mind and deeds. And you keep throwing them for Christmas 5 months from now, more digital distractions. And you wonder why they got ADHD and why you got ADHD. Self-diagnosed. Because you give them tools to calm and tame your noise without really fully going all in with it. So the boundary is screen time is what it is. Let them cry and get it out because y'all know as adults, changing a habit that does not align with where I'm going is going to be painful. We know pain as a people. Pick which kind of pain you want to rock with because you're not going to make it to the kingdom with pretty patty cakes and selfies and matching pajamas. That's just the reality. So I'm going to rapid reparent and restructure this home based on the healed version that I am. And it does not have to line with your mom and them. How about that? Your auntie and them got something to say, tell them to pick the kids up for a couple of hours. And if they household, the way they get down fussing, screaming, and cussing folks out all day as little people, and you over here 50 years old trying to deal with people that emotionally jacked you up, then you're not that desperate for freedom to send your kids over there anyway. How about that? Because we're not finna broker off our pain for a temporary convenience. That's on period. So your child learns structure and trust from your consistency. I know my mama gonna pick me up. I know I gotta go to bed. I'm gonna be crying, but she gonna keep redirecting me and hold me accountable. That's gonna give a lot of y'all parents the rest of the night to start having your time to yourself. Quit giving them everything they want. That's not helping them. That is not helping them. It didn't help you. It didn't help me. They need structure and work on that. Have an accountability partner with that. Work. Instead of starting 5 projects, finish one that moves the needle. That, like that overdue report, maybe that overdue mammogram, maybe that toxic relationship that you don't need to spend the rest of your life with. Maybe you're going to put the block button on there today just until you can get strong enough to have that really mature conversation that you need to have. You got to set up your winning moves. Your follow through has got to be priority. Your faith walk. Finish the devotional you started. Do anybody have a devotional that you read every day? Put it in the comments so we can share resources. Do you have a woman devotional? A devotional for busy women on the go? Do you have a devotional that speaks to a certain situation where you're getting biblical instructions on how to walk this thing out like Jesus did? Do you only read it when you're going through, like a drive-by booty call and a quick fix? Or is it, this is the way that I breathe? That's good. Sis said, I have an adult. I go for a walk every day to help my mind. That is so good. That is so good. Hey, Felicia. Hey, Miss Fifi. And then our wellness. So you see, you already doing some work. And there's some things God gonna download in you that you find helpful that you're going to be sharing to the community, and amazing women that, you know, God is going to put before you to get out here and serve. My wellness. We're going to commit, ladies, to one habit. Your kids grown? Amen. They grown and gone? You got them. Amen. My wellness, I'm going to commit to one habit. I'm going to drink the water, take the walk, you already doing, and if you want to do your therapy session, that could be an example. Remember, in our therapy, when we're looking for a therapist, we're praying to God to send someone to be on our team that align with who we are. We just don't get the first face that we see. You don't just pick a Black therapist because they Black, because skin folks is not always kin folks. You want someone on your team, right? You're inviting that professional to your world, not the other way around. Take your time, be prayerful. Give me something. If I'm a spiritual being, give me someone that's going to guide me. If I've been essayed as a little girl or a little boy, for y'all fellas in here, and I know I need someone that's really skilled in EMDR, right? It is a trauma-informed model that our therapists have to get specialty training in to be anointed to be on a journey for that level of trauma, right? So you don't want to just look at Psychology Today, put your city and state you're in. You can kind of see the different profiles, what their specialties are, what insurances they take, see if they have. I do meet and greets when I'm doing on the journey with people. I do therapy very part-time these days, but I do a meet and greet because I want the person to know that we're a good fit. They interview and meet as much as I'm aligning with them to see if we're a good fit, because I want the best for the people that I'm called to serve. Does that make sense? And don't be afraid to ask those questions. Don't be in a rush. That's why some of you guys that feel like you're pretty stable right now, things are going great. You're managing it. Like sis said, I'm already getting out the house. I raised my kids, so that's a different level of covering that she have for her babies, right? There's no more changing diapers, running down to the schoolhouse. And now it's like I got to pray that they're safe and they driving out of town and relationship stuff. So, right, she's praying on a different level. So she also has some level of freedom, physical freedom. But on the heartstrings, when they get grown, it's a different level of mental stuff, right? Because it's like, dang, I can't whip them. I can't put them in timeout. I can't make them not date who they date, right? Yeah, I'm in California. So our last one is business. If you guys are business owners, anybody in here aspiring business owners or business owners, put a one in the comment if you're a business owner, a coach, you have a business idea, you know God is giving you the gift of creative ideas, you just don't know what to do with it, let me know, because I'm going to end with that. So complete one task. Go over to YouTube, subscribe to the channel. It's absolutely free. So that way, if they sell TikTok, I don't know what they're doing. I don't put my pearls in one basket, right? I don't put my things in one basket. That's just not something wise to do. All right. And I think we got everything done. I'm gonna work on writing down the topics. Now, I think you said Holy Hustle was a good one. Give me y'all feedback. I'm writing that down. And as we get ready to close, yeah, are you in California, Patricia? Hey, George's Journey in Love. Okay, so let's bring it on down so we can log off. So some of you guys that are parents, like we established, and again, the replay is over on YouTube if you guys are just getting in here. But we're talking about when I'm tired and I know that I'm called. And in this season, my follow through is my superpower. Oh, you are in California. Okay. All right, great. Great. You up the freeway. Okay. So we're gonna land the plane. For some of you guys getting in here, we're talking about when I'm called. I know I'm called by God, but yet I'm tired. So in this season, your follow through is going to be your superpower, right? You're going to follow through whatever that looks like, and you're going to be very, hey, Champagne, you're going to be very intentional. So for the woman whose business is in her home, meaning your business is taking care of them kids, you got your sister kids over there. How you doing, Champagne? Oh, Champagne and crayons. I got to shout her out. You guys make sure. We were just talking about kids. I came up on her page. I like to give people their flowers. Um, but I came up on her page and I think I call her the world favorite auntie or something, if I'm remembering correct. And she have all kind of different educational things for young people, right? She's the world, like if she was in our community, she would be like the Jones house over here, where we the community parents, right? But with boundaries these days, right? And so we thank God for other Care Bears, again, coming online, using the space to bring life into dead situations. Oh, I said the word. That is bringing light in a hopeless world and utilizing people platforms that they create. Baby, if they close it, we still gonna be doing the work. The word never changes, y'all, but the method does. Thank you for all of the beautiful things. I don't know what none of this stuff means. Some of y'all need to make a class and let me invest in my stuff, because I don't know what all of it. I know it's a fan. I'm waiting on y'all to be the boss of me to teach me this stuff. But thank you for. I see it coming up. Thank you so much. So for the woman whose business is in her home, as we get ready to close, you're the CEO. She's a CEO of her household. You're organizing, you're caregiving, you're praying, you're cleaning, you're budgeting, right? You're doing your kids' hair, your sister kids' hair, you're disciplining, you're nurturing, and yet who might feel her follow through right now is hard. Isn't that interesting? We established in our time this morning that we prioritize people real bad. But when it comes to me, I reschedule every time. We just named some of the things that you are called to do and anointed to do by way of being a parent or the favorite auntie. You still feel like your follow through is hard. The reason why, because we have emotional and spiritual reasons. There's that chronic invisibility, right? I'm doing so much, but doesn't feel seen or valued. I'm doing so much. God is good, Sister Champagne Crayons. God bless you for who you are. Not for what you do solely, but for who you are. Answering the call that sometimes is hard and we question it. but you go for it anyhow. To watch the replay, talk to Tasha on YouTube, have our whole steps on the 5 steps. I'm called, but I'm tired. And this season, my follow through is going to be my superpower. So make sure you check the link and get on YouTube. It's a free subscription to get the replay. But we're coming to the end where I'm saying that your chronic invisibility, you feel like you're doing so much, but you don't feel seen or valued. Number 2, your perfection pressure. Put a 2 in the comments if you struggle with being perfect. You won't start or finish unless you can put it out just right. Isn't the world a mess right now? But you don't have to be. You're a kingdom warrior. And you're going to perfect, God is going to perfect the gift inside of you. That's different from being perfect. And I'm not going to put something out. I'm not going to come in here and share my whatever it is God put on your heart to share, whether it's a business, whether it's hope, whether it's scripture, whether a testimony Tuesday or Thursday, wisdom Wednesday, being a light in a dark world when the world is a mess and you're needed, and you over here putting stuff back and forth and trying to make it perfect to feel accepted and whole when the person that you're trying to make it perfect for didn't give you the gift in the first place. That's like you saying you don't believe in Santa Claus and telling your kids it's fake. There's truth to that. But 5 months from now, the same energy you say you didn't have, you finna work overtime to get them the gifts to a fake Santa Claus. So let's break this down. What message you sending to them? You mean Santa Claus is fake? Your money is, your change is strange, or your money is funny. You tired on all this medication. You and Charles is going through. Your mama is toxic. Your sister is fake. This is all the stuff I hear. But somehow you press your way to work 2.5 jobs for 5 months Christmas for the stuff you don't even know what they did with their Christmas stuff from last year. It's at their friend house. So we got to shift our value system because we show up in spaces where we esteem value to. And when it's time to be intentional in kingdom building, you fall out and we don't see you no more because you know how to do hard survival stuff. And God is calling you from survival and hard stuff to serving higher. And that's not familiar for a lot of carriers. Up until today, you made a decision. I have more information. I get to decide whether to do more of what works and less of what doesn't work, or I keep complaining, crying, and dragging myself through, thinking somebody else going to come rescue me. So you won't start until it's just right. The time is right. The harvest is right, Brother Hudson. But laborers are what? Few. Why do you have the social media floodgates to your ear? Ill counsel. And you wondering why you can't sleep? Because people all over the internet that never had a chance at life. Microphone check. Speaking over your life. And you getting worked up about how many people in the room. Where 2 or 3 are gathered in his name. He's in the midst. Shouldn't we be good with that? Don't let these social media streets gas up your ego, and you miss the move of God. Will you still show up if one person came? Will you still show up if 0 people logged on? Will you still show up if you even hide the fact that nobody even came in the room? Because obedience is obedience. There's no strings attached to that, sweetheart. Like I told you, I'm the welfare to work mom. I went to every Champagne. I went to every welfare to work program, baby. I did whatever they told me to do because my mama told me readers are leaders. Even when her untreated, what Patricia had, even with her untreated mental illness. And me and Patricia in here talking about having parents with mental illness and schizophrenia. They showed up in ways that they knew how. The other areas was beyond them because mental illness, chronic, severe, mild to moderate mental illness is heavy. It's something we can't understand as a little kid. But she showed up and said, Tasha, readers are leaders. You read for yourself. You're going to be in a position where people that refuse to read is going to pay you to read it to them. She forecasted over my life. Soon as I start getting off welfare and going to work and going into social work, and people was trying to bully me on the job, Champagne, trying to tell me I couldn't talk to the clients because I didn't have my degree. And I came from a fighting background, survived LA LA PD. When they say, Ice Cube says, serve, protect, and break a brother neck, you see what I'm talking about? The anointing on your life, people jealous because they had to go through all the paperwork first. I came in as a welfare to work mom. I'm one of them. What do you mean? So if you're not going, so then I get the degree, praise God, for the bachelor's, right? I go to the new hire orientation. Folks in there went to school just like I did. Hey, Tosh, Miss Jones, what did the lady say? What they say we got to do? I'm not listening to all of that. I'm over here surviving, talking about a transforming by the renewing of my mind. T over here wondering, does this really mean I got to give up my welfare voucher and my food stamps? Where my survivors at? Because I want to come up on the career ladder, but I also want to hold on to my benefits. Am I lying or am I dying? Don't take my stuff yet. Hold on. I don't know. Wait, hold on. This is unfamiliar ground. So they in the orientation thinking I'm going to listen to them and get in the notes. Baby, when you go to a new hire, or where my real people at as we land this plane, when you go to a new hire orientation, what my project people at? What's the first thing we looking at in the employee handbook? I'm talking to my project people right now. The rest of y'all that was raised on the other side of the track, we love y'all too. It ain't no judgment. Don't shrink yourself, baby. You just raised the way you was raised. Ain't nothing to be ashamed about. But right now I'm talking to my project people. That, baby, when you go to a new hire orientation, you want to know, is there a random drug test because you're smoking a lot of weed? And you don't want to, you got to know if you're going to hire somebody. I'm talking to that unsaved, ratchet, surviving type of person. They do it. And this is probably after we want to know the payday. Are y'all holding my check for, back when we was working, y'all remember when they say we going to hold the check and then you miss a payday and then they go, what you holding it for, top dog? Because there's a window of opportunity that I'm supposed to report this here income to the caseworker. And I don't want her digging in my welfare check just yet because I want to have a couple of checks coming in so I can get my, my living room set. Put some little candles on, celebrate with the kids. Go get some oxtails with these food stamps and celebrate. Because mama made it through the bachelor's program and took y'all over there to support to the relatives that help watch the kids while their daddy went to work. Right? Because part of me want to hold on to what's familiar while embracing what's new. So when I'm in a new environment, I'm not reading through all of the dress code and all that. Mama didn't raise no food. I'm already knowing I'm going to wear a cookie cutter little outfit and call it the day. I'm not going to wear my 5D weekend eyelashes, okay? Because I'm excited that I'm graduating up from working at the Pizza Hut, the McDonald's, the doctor office that was treating me wrong. I have my first professional job. So I'm coming in the door excited to talk to other welfare parents, because people like to give us labels. Not you can do it because I did it. Your journey may be different. I'm not going to do people like that. But the endless possibilities, whatever you lay out, is available to you. It's just not going to be packaged up how you thought it was going to be. Your mama may not be able to give you the tools and the resources. Your daddy might be on one in a gated community doing 16 years to life. What my people that had parents in prison? I can relate to that too. But for the call on your life, the pain to perfume, The pain to power to get to the ultimate promise. The things, Sister Champagne, that people shame you for is your biggest testimony. And you out here trying to not bring your gift to the table while these Chinese, Japanese, old orange-faced people making apps where you can get on here and shoot your shot and invite people to the next process. I thought you was from the PJs. PJ people know how to survive. We know entrepreneurship. We just didn't go down there and get no LLCs and nonprofits because that's more fees to the state of California. Patricia in California with me. To get an LLC, you got to drop $800 every year. They don't care if you made money or not. Well, if you survive it, I don't want to give up $800 that I don't have, and I'm over here trying to keep my lights on. So the hustler gonna do what she got to do and get paid under the table and do what she got to do. And as God starts to order your step and open up doors, you have to release what you knew, release what I've known. This is why project people and anointed people or non-project people, when you anointed and you from the streets, you can peep game. You know that spirit of takers that try to put a muzzle over you, that say you're not talking right, you ain't speaking right. Y'all got to stop dealing just with any and everything because your trauma response is rescuing people because you don't know how to rescue yourself. So if I rescue everybody else, I feel fulfilled. So then your rescue has to always be on this chase of rescuing people. So therefore, you is a magnet to vicarious trauma. I got to look for drama because they need me. My codependent self feel fulfilled when I can help them out and cuss them out at the same time. That's bondage. It's bondage. So burnout, this is why your follow through feel hard. I'm getting at y'all on that level because I know. I live it. I didn't say I arrived to a space. There's a part of you that's been delivered, that you're supposed to be out here guiding not only others, but guide yourself first. Where I was, the project girl, the corporate project girl, right? You want to board and bend and all of that over here. No, what you learned over here in the PJs now is in the boardroom. People that don't want to read because they anxious and scrolling and won't sit down, baby, they need Adderall, they need Xanny bars, they need all of that to calm down, Black and Mild, Hennessy, because they running from their pain. Can't we relate to that? Workaholic, churchaholic, gamblerholic, sexaholic, diddyholic, whatever it is. Anything that's off balance, that's sucking up and consuming your brain power, your heart power is a whole issue. Whether that person is in the awareness or in denial, that's none of your business. It's none of my business. Your job is to sow seed and keep it pushing, starting with you at the top of your priority list. So when you tell me my follow through for me feel hard, this is what you're telling yourself because you're doing it anyway. So number 3, you burn out from being the glue. We're my people who's burnt out from being the glue. You're carrying emotional weight no one checks in about. You're the emotional glue, baby girl. Thank you for all of the hearts. You're the emotional glue because the unhealed version of you believe that that is the pathway to love. Now that I'm aware that I'm lovable based on whose I am and not what I do, I got a right to change it up. I'm not ready to change. Well, then you're ready to keep being married to this. The choice is yours. Either I'm going to deal with what's paining me up front today, or I'm going to keep scheduling it over a 30-year easy installment. The choice is mine. I'm grown. It's not what my mama didn't or didn't do. It's not what my daddy didn't and didn't do. It's not what my sisters and all of them did. It was hurtful, don't get me wrong. But you don't get that much power and authority over the next person when you have options to move around according to the will of God on your life? Why you think me and you still kicking it here? Even if you didn't know Christ like that, he covered us. So if you really tired, like our moms would tell us, right? Some of y'all been in love. We've been in and out of love, baby. We say we tired of James. We sick of him. He get his paycheck, come over there with them Air Force Ones and them white tees, that cologne on. For some of y'all project people that like them hood dudes, y'all know how it is, girl. We be like, he come over there and he willing you back in. That spirit is willing you back in. And then you look up Y'all holding hands. And then the kids sleep. Then he taking you to your favorite hotel lobby. We gonna have a party, right? And you're on that vicious cycle of temporary feel-good moments and exchanging that for permanent, sustainable, kingdom-type living that you deserve. And sometimes you didn't even know that world exists till you messed around and found out. So like my mama would give us relationship advice. And the one thing she will walk away with, when you're tired of that, you're going to do what you need to do. You already know what to do. Can't nobody tell you. You can lay on the therapist couch with it. You can talk to the deaconess, the pastor. You can talk. But when you're tired, I know there's a song that tell us there's when the woman fed up, there ain't nothing you can do about it. I like that spin on it, but I always like this spin where I say when the woman fed up, there's something you can do about it. He was saying in the song, there ain't nothing you can do about it because when her mind is made up, she up out of here. But where is your bandwidth of dealing with people treating you subpar is directly correlated with how you treat yourself. I don't care what anybody tell you. Don't let them lie and make you believe that we're going to be on the phone all night. We're going to be on happy hour all night at Applebee's for the 2 for $25 drinks and talk about this man, talk about this job, talk about your in-laws because it's all about them. That's the easy way out. A true one gonna tell you, sis, it's not about them at all. Yes, that's wrong that they did it, but you've been dealing with this far too long. We got 2 more to go in our scripture. I'm taking pause breaks. We practice in the holy hush. Pause breaks. You know why I do pause breaks? Because it's necessary. It's kingdom. And the other thing, because I know how people move on apps, I'm not attracted to people that can't sit still. I'm not saying people are supposed to be sitting here all day not working and doing what they got to do. I'm not saying that at all. That's why I'm streaming on YouTube where you can go back if you're feeling led to go get it. I attract people who know they want more and they deserve it. I attract the Care Bear that knows that I am called, yet I'm tired. And I know in this season that my follow through is my superpower. So the reason you tell yourself that it's hard for you to follow through, number 4, is there's some internalized guilt. Hey, Miss Mo and Blissful Brittany. That's my daughter's name, Miss Brittany. Internalized guilt. Sister wondered, the Care Bear wonders if home is enough. So she overcompensates elsewhere. I want to ask you, is home enough? Is home enough? Is your home a sanctuary? Or is it a hellion place you can't wait to run away from because it's too heavy? Now, if you living with a roommate and living with your parents to get yourself back on your feet or whatever you're doing, there's some different things you got to tolerate. You got to build that discipline muscle, right? You're praying different, Lord, guard my tongue because there's so much combativeness going on. That you're still growing, right? God always have a way for us to excel in situations that we believe is suffocating us, right? You would let any and everything go if you had your own spot. But because you roommate with somebody, the kids got to operate how they want, and it's not going to be equal, rules. They expect your kids to do all of the dishes and all of the things, and it brings so much stress. But are you channeling that discomfort in a way that make you stay laser focused so you can get your own spot again? Because I believe if somebody kept you comfortable, just like they do on the jobs, you wouldn't move your feet. So sometimes discomfort is a fuel that gets you to move. When the job is starting to attack you and you haven't learned how to deal with conflict resolution on the job, and you think I'm just going to walk off and go to another job, well, then you're not going to learn your lesson about how to deal with conflict. You're going to learn that running from hard stuff is my lifestyle, including relationships. You and old boy going through, he don't communicate, you don't communicate. Y'all build some amazing things together. You guys are going through some battles with your health or finances. And instead of communicating, we assume the worst, and then you bounce to the next relationship. That same situation is going to revisit you down the road. So the internalized guilt, making you believe I got to overcompensate. Let's say for y'all project people here, God favored you, right? And moved you on the journey like he favored me in so many different ways that I can't even thank him enough. Even for the sanity, right? Even for the properties I've been able to invest in with zero to no money down. But I had to read, and I had to show up, and I had to pray, and I had to follow through. I had to know in my mind and my spirit that I deserve to own and possess the land. I had to get financially responsible after bankruptcies too. So you don't get it laid on your lap just on the strength that you a Jones, or you cute with dimples, or you born into a family of royalty. You adopted in the kingdom of royalty. You better get credit where credit is due. But if God has, favored you in different areas, even with your family and your kids and your nieces and nephews, or for you caretakers in here, don't get on this cycle that I have to go overcompensate somewhere else because I feel this sense of survivor's guilt. I made it out, so I feel bad for them. You really didn't make it out if your mindset is destroying you. Making it out has no respect of location. Let's just be real clear. You can have 2 or 3 homes. You got 2 or 3 mortgages. The person in the PJs can have a spirit-led life. She's fruitful. She's sowing seed to the kids in the community center. She is, stable in her own ways and in the Lord's way, in the way of God. She's stable. She is fruitful, right? The multiplication of her ministry is going forward. Kids coming over, like we see Champagne in here, a community mom. But she don't have all of these car payments and debts and all of this. Y'all got to stop esteeming people as successful based on the cars and the houses they live in. They have extra bills. And if they glorifying their material possessions and not really looking at it like God favored me, then they out of order all the way around. Now, you don't need to water down at the fact that the Lord allowed you to live in a nice home and cars, but you don't really identify your life based on that. You coming back like y'all see me showing and guiding people that you can be of service of God, get paid well, have homes and all of the things, right? But that's ministry, showing you the face of hope, that you don't have to go major and stuff just for the money, knowing that's not your calling. You don't have to go over here and be overcommitted to people and friends that don't fill you up and then put on a matching shirt calling it a friend. Because some of these journeys we on, you're going to feel like you're lonely. You're going to feel like there's nobody out here that understands you. So let's just be mindful. Am I living with internalized guilt? Hey, Miss Mo and A Picky Vegan and Queen. Am I living with internalized guilt? And the last one, number 5, no room to dream. For the woman that says, I just don't feel that it's doable for me to follow up for myself. We're talking about the woman who knows she's called, but yet she's tired. And I came online to tell you that in this season, your follow through is your superpower right now. And you telling yourself, as I recap, why I don't follow through for myself, because it's hard right now, because you feel there's a chronic invisibility. You feel that there's perfection pressure on you. You won't start or do anything because it's not just right. Number 3, you burn out from being the glue of the family. You're trying to piece things together with Elmer's glue, and you need something stronger. So you're carrying emotional weight that no one checks in about. But my couples in here, dude, you working all the overtime, providing financially, that woman needs some emotional covering. And as a couple, you guys need to talk and walk that out and see what that looks like for one another. That is why she's burnt out, not feeling pretty or sexy, because she's emotionally drained. And one thing about a solid female, they not into having if bodily it's, I can't even get it out. Bodily fluid exchange moments, if you will, like a whole booty call without the emotional connection. So if your spouse, for y'all fellas in here, if she's feeling like she's not intimate and she's not connecting with you on that intimacy level, I don't know if TikTok let us say it, but I'm on YouTube. Then it's probably time for y'all to talk, because you think it's another man, and it might be another man called depression. It might be another man called internalized guilt and burnout. It might be that she's emotionally depleted because she's lifting up her family, her nieces and nephews, her kids, all while trying to have a game face on at that job. So that is something that come up for the Care Bear, the internalized guilt and no room to dream. So you pause so many of your own dreams because you don't really know where to pick the pieces up. So our scripture as we leave. So let's not get tired of doing what is good. It's not about giving up on your call to serve. Galatians 6 and 9. And whoever's in here, I'm going to give you a bonus free call because you rode the wave. I'm going to give you a bonus free call. Galatians 6 and 9. So let's not get tired of doing what is good. At just the right time, we will reap a harvest of blessing if we don't give up. I'm going to say it again, Galatians 6 and 9. So let's not get tired of doing what is good. At just the right time, we will reap a harvest of blessing if we don't give up. This reminds us, Care Bears, that even the laundry, the bedtime routines, your daily structure, all that you're doing is holy work. Every dish that you wash, every child that you correct, every child that you love on and hug on, every boundary that you keep is sowing seed. So you may not feel like you're a spiritual being. You may not feel like you're being used by God. But everything we just described in Galatians 6 and 9, you're already sowing seed. Now it's time for you to log off with this awareness. Even when I feel overlooked, take this in. Let me speak to this last young lady here. If you in here, I'm going to call out your name. Mary, Sister Mary, God bless you. Sister Mary, I'm speaking to Mary. Put a 1 in the comment if Mary, you still in here, because I'm still learning how to use this app. YouTube, I'm going to put in the description some of these recaps so you guys can continue to do the work for yourself. Mary, are you in here? Put a 1 in the comment, Mary, if you're still in here. I have something. It's only 9:51. Wow. It seemed like it's later than that. Okay, so we're gonna log off with our affirmation for her. I had to check some emails and I checked on YouTube. So the recap of this morning, it has to do with I'm tired, but I know I'm called, and I'm here to let the Care Bear know that this is your season to power up and superpower up with your follow through. So if anything that I share with you guys on this live and you feel like, hey, Tasha, you talking to me, I feel like I need to power up, but I don't even know where to start. I doubt myself. I have struggles with family dynamics. I don't know if I'm coming or going. And I just need a space where I can fall apart and pull myself back to where I'm supposed to be. I want you to hit the link in the bio. There is a button in there that allow you to get on a free call with our success team. All of our social workers are degreed up, and we have taken our skill and our calling for social work and mental health to the online space to, be a coach to help you start from the island of where you are to the island of where you need to be. Whether you're struggling mentally, in business, financially, relationally, whatever that is, go ahead and hit that button that gives you a call. If you're not ready for a call, you just like, I don't know if I have the volume and a voice to even speak about anything. It's not a call that's about heaviness. It's about whatever it is that you need to move forward. I have people that have amazing business ideas. They don't know if they can do it. They doubt themselves, but yet they have struggles with their parent. They have a toxic parent at the same time. So we kind of meet you in social work. We meet you right where you are. Our role in your life is a coach. We don't social work you up, but we bring our trauma informed care to our coaching um, models. You can come over here. Also, if you hit the first link, there is a way that you can get on our the free self discovery journal that I have for you. You can download that and really take that and print it out and start working through some things, and you can start feeling better. As we log off, I want to leave you with an affirmation for her. Even, and you can write this down and put it somewhere visual. Even when I feel overlooked, I'm called. Even when I feel tired, I'm chosen. I finish strong, not for applause, but because I carry purpose in everything I do. My home is my harvest, and it. I am tending it in power. I am attending to it in power. So even when I'm overlooked, I'm called. Even when I'm tired, I'm chosen. I finish strong, not for applause, but because I carry purpose in everything that I do. My home is my harvest, and I attend to it with care, nurturing, and power. This has been our social work tabletop moment. If you need the replay, do go over to TikTok under Talk to Tasha, a space where the Care Bear servant leader can fall apart and get back up and move powerfully forward with the things God has placed on your life. I'll see you guys soon, and I'll talk to you later.
scripture you.
After you, brother. Matthew 20:16 in the good book says, "The last shall be first, and the first shall be last." After you. I mean, that's a blessing, but James 4:6 says, "God opposes the proud and shows favor to the humble." You got that. That's true. I like that. I like that for real. James 4:10 says, "Humble yourself before the Lord, and he shall lift you up." Proverbs 12:15. The way of the fool seems right to them, but the wise listens to advice. And the Bible says, "Fool ready? Y'all, sheesh. 45 minutes waiting on y'all."
When nobody can out scripture you.
After you, brother. Matthew 20:16 in the good book says, "The last shall be first, and the first shall be last." After you. I mean, that's a blessing, but James 4:6 says, "God opposes the proud and shows favor to the humble." You got that. That's true. I like that for real. James 4:10 says, "Humble yourself before the Lord, and he shall lift you up." Proverbs 12:15. The way of the fool seems right to them, but the wise listens to advice. And the Bible says, "Fool ready? Y'all, sheesh. 45 minutes waiting on y'all."
When nobody can out scripture you.
After you, brother. Matthew 20:16 in the good book.
Just for today.
Ready? Hi, this is Sabrina with Legacy. I'm calling for a 2 o'clock call. Can you hear me? Hi, how you doing? Good. You still have time to talk? All right. So I have you scheduled for our business consult. You want to tell me what you're trying to get help with? In your office? Legacy, Sabrina, they'll guide you to taxes. You're fine. Okay. school. I'm going to start with this school. Okay. Yeah. So it just depends on what type of entity you're going to be. So if we do an LLC, which would for escort, the LLC is $295, and you can do the production to do that at $55. But that's just the LLC app, and we also do Secretary of State tax. If you do the escort, then it's $1495, and it's a little bit different how your taxes are calculated. So, with the LLC, basically, any income, so your profit, your gross profit, is put onto your personal taxes, and you have a self-employed tax. With the escort, you have a self-employed tax. But you do have to register, do escort taxes and all the different escort. Unless we put on Navy, that's really how hard are you gonna go with real estate. Are you buying real estate to take it, or are you buying real estate to hold these people? Okay, and then rent it out? Okay. So, what we have, I would say start with the LLC first, to see how much you keep. So if you profit over 75 in the first year, then I would definitely say you would want to see the escort. But with an LLC, it's cheaper to get started, it's cheaper to get in, and then you can see what you profit in the year. Like 2 years. At least, this was good, but